Hi guys, I'm Ian McCollum. They have some really interesting things here, and in particular, this Polish unicorn rifle. This is a WZ-28M, and it's the result of some Polish Army semi-auto rifle trials that took place just before World War II, which of course were, not surprisingly, cut short by the dual invasion from Russia and Germany. Now, to break this down a little bit, WZ stands for Wzór, or model. 38 is, of course, the year, 1938, and M stands for the designer, who was named Maroszek. His full name was actually Józef Maroszek. In the meantime, Maroszek had also started working on an anti-tank rifle, which would become adopted as the WZ-35 UR for Uruguay. That's a different issue. Maroszek didn't have a whole lot of time on hand to fix his semi-auto rifle. The anti-tank rifle was kind of taking most of his attention. But then, like right at the end of the trials period in 35, he kind of had this sudden inspiration for a great way to redesign the rifle and make it better. And his proposal was looked at, and they went, well, seems actually like a pretty reasonable set of ideas. We'll give you 6 weeks to redesign the rifle from scratch and resubmit it, which is like no time whatsoever. I mean, 6 weeks is like the design time frame of the Sten gun. But Maroszek and a couple of teammates were able to actually go through and do this, and they produced a new prototype which used this. It was a prototype of this rifle. And this is really a remarkably fantastic gun. And the military recognized that as well. Ultimately, by 1937, 5 prototypes were taken for testing. That went quite well, and in 38, they ordered 55 of them to be manufactured for troop trials. Those were supposed to be delivered by January 1st, 1939. Now, they were delivered. This is serial number 1048. All the known guns fall into the serial number range of 1001 through 1055. There's no further paper trail in the Polish archives after that order and delivery date, so we don't know what happened there, but we do know, of course, in September, World War II started with the invasion of Poland, and you can understand why no further development took place. That also explains why the Germans didn't produce this gun to make it, because at that point this thing was only still a troop trials gun. It wasn't actually in mass production anywhere. This is a really impressive gun in that it is extremely quick and simple to take apart. It disassembles into a number of large discrete pieces. The closest thing you have to a small, easily lost component is this takedown pin, but even that's not too bad. One pin holds the whole thing together. This is a really slick design by Maroszek, and had the war not continued on, I think it really would have gone somewhere. So to me, the Maroszek really is one of these interesting rifles that didn't get taken into service, but not actually for any real fault of its own. It didn't get into service because German and Soviet invasions of Poland interrupted its development cycle. Usually when you see a cool-looking trials gun like this, if it didn't go into service, there's usually a good reason. It had some huge, terrible flaw. The Maroszek, as far as I can tell, is a really nice rifle. I'm really impressed by the simplicity and the ease of field stripping and the major components that you end up with once the gun's stripped. Compared to the other guns available at the time in the 1930s, it's really ahead of its time. It's really well done. Taking this apart makes an M1 look like a jigsaw puzzle, really. So had it not been for World War II, Poland might have ended up with a really nice semi-auto service rifle by the end of the 1930s.
zapomnisz mnie, gdy moją piosenkę spamiętasz. W melodii jest siła zaklęta i czar, i moc. A choć zapomnisz mnie, piosenkę usłyszysz tężebną i tęsknić już będziesz na pewno co dzień, co noc.